Hi, I am Rizwan Mehmet, a seven-figure stock trader and investment fund manager. I started trading stocks nearly 11 years ago with just over $5,000. I eventually went on to turn that $5,000 into $100,000 in a span of 2 years. Then I turned that 100,000 into $1 million in another 4 years, and from 1 million to over $2 million in another 4 years. So in short, I was able to turn $5,000 into over $2 million in a span of 10 years. I've also been able to start and fund many different business ventures along the way. But enough about me. Today, I want to talk to you about how you can start your journey of achieving financial freedom in the stock market using the 5 simple yet actionable steps that I used to get to where I am today. So let's get right into it. Number one, start saving. Automate the savings process. I cannot stress this enough. You must start saving as soon and as much as possible. Systemize and automate the entire process because just about every bank allows you to set up an amount along with the intervals of your choosing. I don't care how much you save, all right? All that I care about is that you start, as the automating savings plan will help you do it without thinking. And before you know it, you will have a certain chunk of money saved up. Once that happens, you can ramp up your automatic savings as you please. With that said, in this day and age, it's extremely hard, if not impossible, for the average person to be able to save enough from their main source of income to have a life of financial freedom. I realized this from a very young age as I saw my parents who slogged day in and day out to make an honest living so that my family and I could be in a better place financially. I realized that I needed to start but building my foundations of wealth, and I vowed to do it sooner rather than later. This brings me to my next step. Step number two, embrace risk. With the advent of increased automation in the workplace, which has led to a decrease in jobs and for many a lack of a livable wage, this means that the majority of the population is simply getting by. Existing day to day and repeating the same tasks of working a job that doesn't pay you enough to excel at what you do, but just enough that you can't quit, is the definition of insanity. Going to work, eating, watching Netflix, paying bills, sleeping, then getting up and doing it all again and again ad nauseum is not what life is meant to be. In order to achieve abnormal results, we must do things differently. The younger generation, unfortunately, has become universally risk averse at the exact time that they should be embracing and welcoming risk. Not just for the sake of taking risks, but so that they may share in the potential rewards. This is why it's imperative to not only accept risk, but embrace it. Unlike the masses, from the age of 9, I had already started selling custom pencils back in school to other kids for pocket money. And at the age of 12 years old, in the late 1990s, I had started working for my father's small printing business and post office. And I would save that money, the little few dollars that I would get a week, and save it and continue to save it until at the age of 16, I decided that in order to grow my savings that I had amassed, I would need to take risks and do everything I could to make my money work for me, which led me to opening a brokerage account and thus eventually starting my journey in the stock market. Next step, step number 3, commit to your personal growth. Unfortunately, when I was younger and looking to start my journey in the stock market, the original iPhone hadn't even released. Hell, this very platform wasn't even there. Facebook was there, but you were no longer at that time able to have videos, or in fact, Facebook wasn't even a publicly traded company. Needless to say, I didn't have the resources, the guidance, or the help to learn from experienced individuals. I had to rely on whatever information I could get my hands on at that time. And when I think back, a lot of it was too abstract, impractical, and at times even flat out wrong. My learning curve was long, mentally and even physically painful. I took many large losses due to my inexperience and lack of guidance. Yet, due to my sheer determination and perseverance, I was able to break through that barrier so many people cannot do until this date. This is why I cannot stress enough how important it is to invest in yourself, in your knowledge, and increase your skill set. Step number 4, focus on the bigger picture. After getting a hang of things, I reframed and decided to look at trading as my very own business and a lifelong journey. I was able to separate myself from the equation and look beyond just the money and the profits. For me, it was about not only growing my investment account and wealth, but also my own skills and expertise. By focusing on the bigger picture and thinking long term, I was able to make the right critical decisions that I needed to make at that time. No matter how much money I have, I know I will always continue to trade and invest in the stock market because it is such a crucial part of my life and it is extremely satisfying and rewarding. Step 5, be patient. The last and most definitely not least, this is something that I know can be very, very challenging and difficult for all of us. And even now, sometimes I find myself becoming a little bit impatient or seeking that instant gratification. But in the grand scheme of things, we must be patient. Far too many have run out of patience just as they were on the precipice of greatness. We have been told to pursue our dreams and goals, but oftentimes we are not told about the importance patience plays in achieving those goals. Put in the effort and delay that feeling of wanting instant gratification because everything worthwhile takes patience and time. For the longest time, I couldn't get the results I was seeking, and through sheer determination and patience, I was able to turn the tables and get to where I am. After all, the sun and the moon know that if they are patient, they will each have their moment to shine. So that's it. The 5 core steps that I've used and relied upon to become a successful stock trader and investor. These exact 5 steps are the foundations to not only becoming a successful trader and investor, but also a more equipped person to tackle all manner of situations in your life. It is your compass to getting to where you want and living the life that you wish. Thank you for listening, and I hope to interact with you soon. Ciao.